Aw, man. I got so many random items I don't have a need for, and I want them all over there. But I don't want to go over there myself because that's boring and tedious. It's time for item transport systems. Okay. Previous to last week's video, I got two requests for the item sorter, which was last week's video, and for item transport devices. I got both requests at the same time, but I thought the item sorter would make more urgent use, so I did that one first. No requests this week means this is what I'm doing this week. So this first one is the minecart. It's probably the one everybody knows about. It's a little expensive, it's a little tedious, but it's pretty reliable and takes care of itself. Its setup is rather simple. So first I'm going to point out that this item has a stack of cactus in it. Both of these hoppers have a stack, or are full of cactus, and this chest is empty. Now, the drawback of this system is that it's rather slow. I'm pretty sure that every time this minecart passes under here, it's going to take one item. Oh, it took a bunch. Okay, well, my excuse for that is I got this minecart going a lot slower than I usually would. It's only got 2 powered rails. Usually, if I were building this for myself, I would dump the gold in there to have this minecart going as fast as possible. But given that it's going this slow, it's got time to pull more. So, I didn't exactly test the system before I started the video because I knew it would work for what I wanted to. I just didn't know it would work this well. But what I was going to say, based on my previous assumption, is that you can have more than one cart going. Now, given that I'm using detector rails here, and the detector rail is next to a powered rail, that means that the cart has to hit the detector rail for the power rail to give it a boost. And I got one over here as well. And the reason I did it this way is specifically so if I put multiple carts on here to the point where they're bumping into each other, they can't go backwards. Because if a cart's coming this way, it's going to hit the unpowered rail and stop. And it can't move until something activates this and bumps it. So you got a system here that should not fail. That's not supposed to happen. Not sure what caused that, but yeah, it's working fine now. Derpy carts. Well, anyway. No. You get up that, jerk. See? Can't go that way. Well, I had this whole thing running all last night and it was just fine. I don't know why it's misbehaving now. Maybe it is the second cart that's actually screwing with it. Oh, I see what's going on. The first cart activates the detector, and the second cart comes in just as it's turning off, so it hits the unpowered rail. Okay, well, that problem solved. But as you can see, it moves items fairly well. So this system can be used to go up, down, across long distances. The great thing about minecarts is it's highly adaptable. This is probably the most dynamic of the 4 systems I'm going to show you here. The next system, which is also kind of set up inconveniently at the moment, empty inventory. This is the only system in here that can actually go in multiple directions by itself. So it can go up, down, all around. The only catch is you have to have it in loaded chunks, otherwise. Now you screwed up again and you don't have the second minecart. Is it just because I'm recording? Quantum mechanics? Observing it screws it up? Okay. Yeah, go die. Okay, this system. Now this system, ideally, should have a 2 high wall next to it. I left a 1 high wall so that it would look better in the video, so you could see all of what's going on. But this is a dispenser. It has the slight flaw of shooting things out in kind of a cone, so an item might land up here and not get pushed along by the water. But if you actually had a too high wall up here, that would solve that problem because it would deflect off of it. So when you go to implement this, do the too high wall. Now the way this works is on the same principles last week. Comparator pointed to a dispenser. Now this dispenser will only give a power of 1 until there's a 23rd item, up to 43 items it'll only power 1. As soon as the 44th item's in, it powers this one, which then activates the repeater. So signal boost comes around in loops, which flicks this off, while at the same time coming all the way over here and flicking item out of the dispenser. This is flicked off, which then removes the power source for this, so then it stops flicking itself off, so then it checks again. So it's a self-rebooting switch. And this is empty, but if I start throwing stuff in here, this is expandable, so that this, from this block this way, is one copy of the system. And then just below that is a second copy of the exact same thing. So you see, it's now throwing stuff out. So if I keep this full, it'll keep flinging stuff out. And it just overpowered itself. Okay. So apparently overloading it's a bad thing. I'll have to figure out something to improve that, but the system, until I started getting aggressive with it, worked just fine. So you're flicking it out into the water stream. It moves to the next hopper, which is the next system. So 8 blocks of water run into a hopper. Another ticker system, 8 blocks of water into a hopper. This is fully expandable. The drawback to this one is it can only go down. So if you get to the end of this, and yeah, you're going to end up going down and down and down. But this is fully expandable for a virtually horizontal transport system. And the reason I have these hoppers here and the switches the tickers every 8th block is because items only can exist in Minecraft for like 5 minutes. If you tried to just do a water stream and then it drops down into another water stream and then down into another water stream and it keeps going, well then after 5 minutes of them not getting updated, that is no stacks combining and not being sucked into a hopper to be spit out again, 5 minutes of going down a water stream and your items will start self-deleting. Minecraft deletes items after 5 minutes. Now, this next system, oh, it's nighttime. I seem to recall somebody saying they had trouble seeing the video last time at night. Okay, this one is a horizontal one. Now this is the first elevator I ever built quite a few years ago. I built most of it myself, but for some reason I couldn't remember how to get the ticker to go. So I went to Watch Mojo and grabbed his ticker for this. It's not the same one I used before. Doesn't even look close, but it does the same job. So the way this works is you can have a hopper feeding into this, or you can make deposits manually. This one won't overload like my previous one. In fact, I could probably use this to improve that one, but I built that one first, so I left it as is. Oh, a new player. So this one, however you decide you want to do it, hoppers or whatever, as soon as the items are in here, this gets a signal It powers this repeater, which powers this, and at the same time comes over here, powers this block, and comes back around here and flips the repeater off. Now, these blocks are alternating, so that, and these are droppers here, so these are alternating power to the droppers, which are dropping items up into the next container above. Ooh, lag. Recording's having trouble. Okay, so this can handle any amount of items because it's just acknowledging that there's an item in there. Every block above the bottom one can end up with something stuck in it. So this isn't a completely foolproof system to get everything immediately, but it's better than that one. It'll keep running until this one's empty. That's pretty much guaranteed. This next one is actually kind of an abusive glitch. This is abusing a flaw in the Minecraft system to begin with. So you got water here. It's running across ice blocks. And then there's an ice block underneath the first piece of fence and then the second piece of fence, which has to be connected on all four sides. And this is completely glass inside. It's completely solid all the way through. So you stick your item in there and it takes off shooting across the ice. It shoots through the first fence and stops in the second fence. Second fence says it can't be there. If I put my shit together, it would have belonged. Second fence piece says it can't be there. So it tries to force it up. But there's glass above it. The fence takes its precedence to shove it up. The glass says it can't be there either, so it shoves it up. Since it's glass on all sides, it can't accidentally shove it out to any side. So they just keep rejecting it and shoving it up. It's the perfect case of exploiting a bug. So you throw your stuff in there and it just shoots it up. And then you have hoppers up the top to gather it and then a chest next to it or whatever. This is another vertical launching system. A lot more simple than that, though it is prone to a little bit more bug. I've seen a few cases where items get shot out the side, but the vast majority of stuff's going to go straight up just fine. So, aside from my laggy little laptop, there is your video of the 4 sorting systems, and just in case the dark blinded some people, I'll come over and give another look at this one. And speaking of items lost in the process, or ones that didn't quite make it, this one stopped running, but these items are still here. This one's stopped running, but these items are still here. So I should probably improve upon this design. But everything that you throw in here will be accounted for. It just may not make it to the other end. And then stuff that you put in there a week ago may make it to the other end about your 8th time you're using this thing, just because it got caught in the middle somewhere. So, as another demonstration with light this time. So, there it is in action again. And I have no idea why this thing is stopping now. It was working just fine all of yesterday and all late last night. It was running when I got back on this morning. Anyway, so there's 4 sorting systems. And let's see here. I'm going to do a little bit of a game here. For those that watch between now and next Wednesday, pick a number between 1 and 100 if you play on my server. If you get the number right, I will give you give you 1,000 granite, just for a little fun to keep people watching. I'll also be putting granite on the web store, so you can buy it with the points you get for free for interacting on the website. So go post on the forums, go interact with polls, get those points, and then you can buy materials with it. Have fun, keep playing.